he has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
You just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw,
Me like sparring
Yeah.
when I watched it, which, you know, look, I paid for it. They got me. I thought it was going to be a real fight.
You know, but me, I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm just gonna keep it 100, man. Jake Paul is fugazi. He's fake.
That's how you feel.
Truly feel. I'll bust him up and his trainer in the same night.
Joe Rogan reacts with clear shock as Anthony Joshua reveals a surprising behind-the-scenes detail. Jake Paul allegedly pushed for the fight to be scripted or tightly controlled. According to Joshua, he immediately rejected that idea and made it clear that he would only step into the ring for a real fight, one involving genuine danger, real consequences, and no predetermined outcomes. Rogan explains that this revelation directly connects to long-standing accusations surrounding Jake Paul's boxing career. Many critics have questioned whether Paul's previous victories were truly competitive, pointing to claims of choreography, selective matchmaking, and overly cooperative opponents. These critics argue that such fights helped inflate Paul's record and rankings, fueling discussions about titles and legitimacy without him ever facing elite-level competition. As a result, fans remain divided, with many questioning the true intent behind these spectacles and whether they are driven by sport or promotion. The debate has now spread far beyond boxing, sparking controversy across the wider sports world.
You know, like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for
But it
competition.
hasn't. Yeah.
He's also nuts, right? Just
Yeah.
the fact that he's willing to fight the two-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist,
Yeah.
a guy who's gigantic in his prime, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're
Joe Rogan continues his analysis by describing the fight as looking more like a controlled sparring session than a full-scale boxing war. While there were moments that hinted at tension and possible escalation, Rogan explains that the bout never reached a point where devastating or career-threatening damage seemed likely. He reminds viewers that boxing is an extremely dangerous sport where situations can change in seconds, and what starts calmly can suddenly turn violent. From that perspective, Rogan considers it a positive outcome that both fighters walked away without major injuries. He stresses that safety should always take priority over hype, viral moments, or promotional narratives. Rogan expresses relief that neither fighter absorbed the kind of clean, heavy shots that can cause long-term physical or neurological damage, emphasizing that no amount of entertainment is worth permanent harm.
just gonna get
You've
hurt.
known him for a long time. I've known him for a long time.
Chael Sonnen offers a blunt, logic-driven breakdown of the matchup, stating that the situation simply does not make sense when viewed objectively. He argues that a fighter with only 11 professional bouts should never be standing across the ring from an Olympic medalist with years of elite experience. Sonnen highlights the massive gap in skill, ring intelligence, and high-level experience, calling it impossible to ignore. He also points out that the natural weight difference makes the matchup even harder to justify, as Joshua operates far beyond Jake Paul's typical competitive range and is naturally the heavier, stronger fighter. According to Sonnen, in real competitive boxing, commissions, trainers, and sanctioning bodies would never approve such a matchup under normal circumstances. To him, the fight raises serious concerns about authenticity and motive. He suggests that when basic sporting logic is ignored, fans are justified in questioning whether the event is a legitimate contest or primarily a promotional spectacle designed to generate attention rather than reflect true sport.
For Jake, or if I think that Joshua is more experienced or better, I believe I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion. Of course. This is before you get size in there, before you get professional world titles in there. A guy that's done this 11 times cannot go into the Olympic Games and medal. If boxing, in fact, should be believed. I was with Portnoy. I liked it. I liked how he said that. You know, that's how I feel too. Because I'm also cheering for Jake Paul. But I get it. I know we're not going to win tonight. But that's a compliment to boxing. And it is very hard for people to digest that Anthony Joshua can't cut him off. He can't find him. He can't do anything with that reach. He can't go out there and rush him. He can't throw this kid in a corner and beat him up. That is disappointing to me. That is baffling to me. As an MMA guy, I will just share with you, that would not be a problem at all. At all. If a guy's running away from me, it would be absolutely no problem. And you can put the boundaries at the city line. You can put it at the state line. I will track him down, I will put him somewhere, and I will beat the dog out of him. So in a ring, I get where that is really disappointing. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what happened. And then Joshua, by the way, has the right to turn to some other thing. Well, I'm saying he ought to cut him off, grab him, throw him in the corner, and go beat him up. Well, I'm saying that Joshua has the right to go, nah, I could feel some stuff. I knew it was going to come my way, right? For Joshua to say, well, I had the experience, and yeah, he was moving, and yeah, I could have cut him off a little different. But I didn't mind the way this was going. I didn't mind that he was running. I knew he would slow down. I knew he would come to me eventually. Like, for that to be Joshua's mindset.
Joe Rogan then provides a more balanced perspective, acknowledging that Jake Paul has consistently expressed a desire to be recognized as a legitimate fighter. Rogan notes that Jake has willingly stepped into the ring, faced opposition, and attempted to prove himself beyond his social media background. He emphasizes that Jake performs best when the challenge feels real and unscripted. However, Rogan makes it clear that stepping up against Anthony Joshua represents an entirely different level of competition. Joshua's size, power, and experience introduce variables Jake has never dealt with before. Rogan explains that because Jake has never fought someone of Joshua's physical stature and elite pedigree, it is impossible to accurately assess his stamina, durability, or ability to survive sustained pressure over a full, intense bout. While Jake has shown speed, athleticism, and technical improvement, the unanswered questions about his endurance and resilience against top-tier heavyweights leave fans intrigued but uncertain.
When we expect Jake Paul to be fighting like higher level competition, it's not because he has under 10 fights. It's because he talks a lot of shit.
Yeah, but that's also why we're talking about him.
And that's exactly true. But I think on both sides of the equation, we've got to admit that a young fighter under 5 fights isn't fighting great competition. So
True.
if you're calling Jake Paul a legitimate boxer and then you're expecting him to do what legitimate boxers do, I'm not sure he's not doing that, and probably more.
That's what I'm saying about the knockout of Tyron Woodley, because it was just a regular boxer who was just coming up. And what is he at?
Tim Bradley delivers one of the most scathing critiques of Jake Paul, openly calling him fake and accusing his fights of lacking genuine competition. Bradley argues that many of Paul's matches appear orchestrated, with opponents seemingly following a script rather than engaging in real, high-stakes boxing. He criticizes how these staged or controlled outcomes have helped Jake build a record that exaggerates his true abilities. Bradley warns fans not to confuse entertainment with legitimacy, stressing that while the events may be visually exciting, they do not reflect authentic boxing skill, danger, or competitive risk. According to Bradley, this approach damages the integrity of the sport and sends the wrong message to young fighters who believe fame and marketing can replace hard-earned experience and true competition.
But I can't knock you I can't knock your hustle. When you built something outside of boxing and you say, hey, yo, I'm coming over here to the sport now and I'm gonna pick and choose who I fight. Y'all come follow me. If they follow him, man, I just understand what it is. I know what I'm looking at. You're not gonna fool me over here. Save that stuff for them other people, because I'm not gonna believe that I'm the face of, no, you're not the face of boxing. I'm not giving you that, because that's for a lifer. But that's what he believes. That's cool, I can't knock him for that. People believe a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying, you can do all the rah-rah stuff. That's your business. But I just know what I'm looking at, right? But on the monetary side and it being an event, the truth is that when he does fight, it does bring attention around the sport. People debate, they argue, people want to see the fight. Is it legit? Is it him and Mike Tyson? No, it's an event.
Daniel Cormier offers a more nuanced and respectful take, praising Jake Paul for the courage it took to step into the ring with Anthony Joshua. While joking that many people would fight anyone for an enormous payday, Cormier acknowledges that bravery still matters when facing a seasoned heavyweight after previously fighting much lighter opponents. He highlights Jake's athleticism, footwork, and strategic movement, explaining how constant motion helped him avoid the full impact of Joshua's devastating power. Cormier notes that this level of movement is extremely draining and requires exceptional conditioning. Despite the pressure, Jake managed to last against an elite opponent. Drawing parallels to wrestling, Cormier explains how repeatedly escaping danger and resetting after pressure demands both mental toughness and physical resilience. He concludes that Jake's performance demonstrated boldness, adaptability, and genuine effort, showing that despite controversy, he approached the fight with seriousness, respect, and courage.
What were your thoughts on that? I thought Jake Paul was a brave guy. Then I found out he made $100 million. I was thinking, well, anybody would fight for $100 million, but bro, I literally ran into Logan Paul in New York City, and I said to him, it was weird too, because I was going into a studio to interview Kamaru Usman for one of my shows, and Logan Paul was at the coffee shop. He's like, JC, I was like, what's up, Logan? Because he does a tremendous job in WWE. Yeah, Logan Paul does.
I don't watch WWE, but I know that. I
Dude, he might literally be the best professional wrestler in the world.
Really?
He's such an athlete, bro.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. But I'm just stroking him right now. I swear to God, bro, it's unbelievable how good the kid is.
Okay.
From the moment he started doing it, he was really good.
He can cut a promo, huh? Like,
He got a
kids say
promo. He's got a promo, but he's also good in the ring.
Okay.
He's really athletic. I said to him, I go, what type of safeguards do you have in place to make sure he doesn't get his head knocked off against Anthony Joshua? He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis, who weighed in at 137 2 fights ago. So now you're gonna go fight Anthony Joshua, who weighs all of 250? He said, all right. He said, he's gonna just fight him. That little man, he's very bold. And then what happened was he ran a lot. Here's the thing. Everybody goes, even Eddie Hearn goes, he did better than Francis. I'm like, well, Francis didn't move around much. Francis thought he could actually fight him because of what he did to Tyson Fury, right? Couldn't. Tyson Fury might have overlooked him a little bit, and I think that's what happened. Like, he got caught with the right hand drop. Anthony Joshua was like, I'm not taking any chances with this guy. So he fought him, and he took him serious. But Francis didn't move. Jake did a good job of moving around for a long time, but all that moving costs energy. Right?
I mean, I used to spar with Robert Guerrero here in Gilroy.
Yep.
And I would go in and spar with him. I'd tell people that I would spar with him for his first 4 rounds. He would do 12 rounds.
Yep.
He would use me as his warm-up rounds.
Yep.
And I was in fight shape. I wouldn't go and spar unless I was ready to fight. Like, I was 2 or 3 weeks out from my...
Yeah.
I was ready to fight. And by the 4th round, I was fucking exhausted. And he would just make me miss. You know, if you miss more, it's the right work. It makes you more tired.
Especially when you're throwing big punches like Jake was throwing.
Yeah.
And then wrestling. He's like shooting double A's and shit. Like, all you look like Dylan Davis. Oh, we're seconds, bro. All that wrestling was crazy, dog. I was like, bro, have you ever in my life seen that much wrestling in a boxing match?
It was Dylan Davis, Logan Paul all over again.
Every time he would fall, you got to get up.
Yeah.
Every time you shoot, you got to get up. It makes you more tense. It should be more iron off you. It's a worse shot. I mean, and Anthony.
Eddie Hearn reflects calmly on the bout, offering insight from a strategic and managerial standpoint. He explains that the game plan was always simple and disciplined: remain patient, control distance, dictate the pace, and gradually wear Jake Paul down before securing a decisive finish. Hearn emphasizes that this strategy was designed to minimize unnecessary risks while maintaining full control of the fight. According to him, everything unfolded exactly as planned, showcasing Joshua's discipline, maturity, and composure. Hearn suggests that this measured approach proves how intelligent strategy often outweighs reckless aggression, allowing the fight to deliver tension and excitement without unnecessary danger.
He said before the fight, I'm going to break him down, and then I'm going to knock him out. And that's exactly what he did. I thought it'd be all over within 3 rounds. But, you know, when I got in the ring after, because I was shouting, just, you know, anywhere, arm. I got in, he went, what are you rushing me for? And I was like, oh, sorry. So, but like, obviously he knows what he's doing, and actually now I'm quite pleased that we got the rounds, to be honest.
Really random, I was on Twitter and I saw Jake Paul's mom said she wants to get in the ring and punch you. She said she doesn't like the smug look on your face. She is promoting her book, so I'm not sure if she wants, you know. But did you see that? What did you think of that?
I was very sad because I couldn't have been nicer and more respectful of Jake and what he's done. And I think Logan's amazing. I think he's an incredible athlete. And I shook Jake Paul's dad's hand in the ring, you know. And if I would have seen Mum, I would have said, all right. But I think over the years we've obviously had our beef, and she probably don't like me anyway. And I am probably a little bit smug. I wasn't smug after the fight because I would have been more smug if it was all over in a round. So, no, I give Jake respect, and yeah, sorry Jake's mum doesn't like me, but if she can send me a free
Duke McKenzie provides an analytical breakdown rooted in decades of boxing experience. He clarifies that his critique is based on technical knowledge rather than personal opinion, giving credibility to his assessment. McKenzie argues that the result itself speaks volumes, making excessive commentary unnecessary. He points to Joshua's calm demeanor, tactical control, and superior timing as clear indicators of the experience gap between the two fighters. For McKenzie, the bout serves as a textbook example of how a seasoned professional imposes strategy, discipline, and structure on a less experienced opponent without needing chaos or brute force.
You know, like when you've got a fly on the windscreen and you're trying to swat it, and you're trying to swat it and you miss and you keep tapping, and then eventually, bang, you get it. That's exactly what that fight was. Jake Paul didn't get in there to win last night, he got in there to survive. And he didn't do a better job of surviving. He sold the fight brilliantly. That's what he is. He's a salesman. And he's a YouTuber, influencer, call him whatever you want. So from that perspective, he did his job, but he never got in there to win. He just got in there to got beat up. I'm glad Anthony Joshua done a number on him. This is why boxers are boxers, YouTubers, whatever they want to call themselves, influencers, you know, they should stay in their lane and fight people that they're supposed to fight on their level. This guy was never on Anthony Joshua's level, and Joshua did what he needed to do, did what he had to do for the sake of boxing, and blow this guy out and just knock him out.
What about the fact that Jake was able to land on him clean a couple of times? What did you make of that?
Oh, listen, you can't get into the water without getting hit. Fortunately for Joshua, that guy can't break an egg. So he was never in any danger. You know, he's always going to get hit back. I mean, you know, it was 6 rounds. Anthony Joshua was always going to take at least 1 or 2 shots over that 6-round period, but it was nothing to hurt him, it was nothing to bother him. And like I say, this is all about getting AJ's confidence back. Okay. If Jake Paul fights, if he fights KSI or KFC or whatever his name is, then those two are evenly matched, aren't they? They're evenly matched, and then they could fight, you know, and then because they're evenly matched, they're both YouTubers.
Lawrence Oswey approaches the fight from a safety-focused perspective, emphasizing the inherent dangers of boxing. He reminds viewers that inside the ring, a single mistake, no matter how small, can instantly change the outcome of a fight. Oswey stresses that fame, preparation, and promotional hype offer no protection when concentration slips. His analysis highlights the unpredictability of boxing and serves as a reminder that the sport is far more than entertainment. It is a high-stakes contest where careful planning, respect for risk, and discipline are essential. He also notes that the fight sparked widespread discussion and debate across both media and the public.
Jake for surviving, but he wasn't trying to win. Every once in a while in between running, he would throw a wish, hope it would land and do some damage. He was just hoping that Santa would come early and give him a present, a gift from the god. There's a reason in the jungle that a gazelle sometimes outruns a cheetah, the fastest animal, because fear makes you survive. But unfortunately this baby gazelle ran out of steam. For AJ, it was like a light sparring session. You could see he didn't fear anything coming back. After the fight, he looked like he'd been for a light jog. AJ knew the constant pressure was breaking him down, because trust me, when you've got a guy who can punch stalking you, it's tiring, because you can't switch off. One mistake and you could end up asleep. AJ's a massive puncher. Even the punches that weren't landing clean were doing damage. Any heavyweight landing in 10-ounce gloves isn't fun. Again, credit to Jake, he got dropped but he kept getting back up. That big head is durable. Did Jake do what he said he was going to do? No. He's a businessman, he sells the dream. At no stage did he really try to win. It was a bank robbery in broad daylight. On paper he shouldn't have been there. He got in and kinda gave it a go. He risked his life for the fans' entertainment. Was it brave or stupidity? Well, regardless, I still think he's been great for boxing, bringing new eyes to the sport. Just look what he's done for female boxing. The undercard was female heavy, giving them opportunity, giving them a platform. Personally, I think it's great. For Jake Paul, the fight was a win-win. Once he's healed up, he can come again. But next time, fight someone at your level, light heavyweight or cruiserweight. And he did show heart, and I did see some improvement, despite the fact he was mainly running. He did show good movement and decent defense. People saying it's embarrassing for AJ. No, it's not. He just got his best and easiest payday. He can laugh his way to the bank. Nobody can honestly say if they were AJ, given the opportunity, they wouldn't take it. Come on.
Luke Thomas emerges as one of the strongest critics of the praise Jake Paul received after the match. Thomas argues that much of the excitement was exaggerated, with narratives overstating Jake's performance while minimizing Anthony Joshua's strategic dominance. He emphasizes the importance of evaluating fights through the lens of skill, experience, and risk rather than being swept away by hype and spectacle. According to Thomas, when Joshua's disciplined game plan is combined with Mackenzie's technical analysis and Oswei's emphasis on danger, it becomes clear why the fight unfolded the way it did.
Surviving kind of feeds into the story of him being perhaps a little bit better than we sometimes think, although I don't really co-sign on that. Let me make the point. The first point is, I think people are overreacting a little bit. A little bit. People were suggesting when I got on social media that this was like the biggest farce they'd ever seen in their life, and that this was, how could he fight like this, and this was a disaster, and Joshua should have got him out there earlier. There is probably some evidence to suggest that I don't think Joshua was carrying him in the sense of, hey, they coordinated this ahead of time. But was Joshua really stepping on the gas? No, I don't think he was really stepping on the gas. There were times I think he clearly pulled his punches, partly because Jake was squirmy and rotating on the outside. Also in part because I think, as I indicated on Friday, he's watching this guy with pretty bad footwork. He was literally...
That brings the video to a close. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more in-depth analysis and discussion. Until next time.